Okay, we are live. This is the 14.1 league at Amsterdam Billiard Club in the Gold Division. This is the semi-final of the season. Steve Lipsky, his nickname is Patterns and not Patterns. I'm gonna fix that. Steve Lipsky, Patterns. There you go. Okay, versus Tim Edmonds. We're gonna start very soon. It should be a good match. Um, okay, looks like we're ready to start. Good. Okay, so Steve won the break, won the lag, decided to give the break to Tim's. Um, Quite a few ball went out on the break, so now Steve has the choice between many balls. I think he's gonna take the four just because he doesn't want to miss. The one ball's a little too straight, and um, the five ball would be a thin cut. Steve Lipsky got kind of a bad roll here. He's gonna have to come out with a thin cut on the five ball. Okay, he's still in good shape. I think now he should attack the one ball. He's probably gonna try to play with a lot of speed and push the six ball into the stack. Or maybe he spotted a combo. This combo here, boom, seven in the corner. So he announced that he thinks the combo is going. Additional rewards if makes it. Everything's gonna be open, and that's what just happened. I think the real true problem here is this cluster of two balls here. All the other balls are open and have a pocket. Doesn't mean that there's no work though, because there's a lot of traffic. Every ball has a pocket, but They're obstructing each other. So if you look now, there's only one ball going. There's only one ball who has a pocket, or maybe two. So I think he has to make something happen now, move something. No? I mean, yes, this ball was open, this ball, the three ball here. I'm surprised he didn't try to move a few things around. Wow, looks like he's gonna manage to do this rack without running into anything. I said at the beginning every ball has a pocket, and looked like it was true because he didn't need to move everything. It's the sign of a high skilled player for sure. He's gonna have to accept a second quality break ball here. It's probably going to be the 8 ball. I say the 8 ball is a second quality break ball because you can easily get stay stuck under the stack, and it's not guaranteed that one of the balls is gonna be pushed down the table. I mean, if you have a perfect rack, yes, normally a ball is going to be pushed down, but there's usually a few cracks in any rack, and you cannot be sure. You should put an inside spin on this. Try to go 2 rails and 3 rails and escape the bottom of the table. And he did the opposite. He put outside, and he got the desired result. You see right now, if the cue ball was at the bottom of the table, he would have no easy shot. Oh yeah, the 11 ball is here, so it was fine. So there's a 3 ball cluster in the middle. The rest of this rack is pretty straightforward. Let's see what moment he chooses to attack this problem. Okay, he decided to clean up the upper table, which is a good choice. He was there, he was up the table. If he doesn't do it now, he's gonna have to do it later, so it's a good thing to do it now. Now, is he going to attack the problem now? One thing I learned recently is that it's often better to do some cleanup around a cluster before you break it, so that you don't just break the cluster and create three other problems. Okay, it's partly solved. He still needs to run into this 1-9 cluster later. I haven't been doing any streaming in some time, so I'm a little slow on the scoreboard. But the good news is that it's not going to affect the player's average shot time, because when I'm late on putting the score in, it just goes to the next shot and the average remained the same. So while I was talking about the scoreboard, Steve fixed the last problem. Does he have a good break ball now? I think the 4 here is out of the triangle, so that should be his break ball. I would like to do like Mike Jednak and call the exact end of rack pattern, but I'm always wrong, so I'm not going to try it. That might have been a little mistake here. Okay, Steve Lipsky, first round 25, not bad. So Tim is gonna get his first chance at the table. Tim is only going to 75, so he doesn't have to play as good as Steve to win. He only have to play a little better than half as good. I think Steve wanted to have positioned the one ball before, and he overshoot it, and that's why his run ended. So people think that 14-1 is an easy game. It's not. Yeah, I mean, if you're a good shooter, you're gonna do the 14 balls on the table, but getting a good setup for a break shot at the end, it's really not that as easy as people think. Okay, let's look at the stats so far. Okay, Steve Lipsky, offensive play index 876. Cool. Yeah, too bad for Tim. I mean, his first run on the table is gonna be a short one. And now you have Steve Lipsky back in full control. Okay, so same music again. There's a little cluster in the center. How can Steve get to it? Looks like he's gonna do the 4, then maybe the 12 after. 4, then 12. No, actually, he's gonna use the 3 ball to break now, I think. Looks like it. He has a tiny angle, so. Okay, most of the problem is solved. I think the 1 ball can go in the corner, so. Here, I think it goes. So it would mean that Steve fixed all the problems, and maybe we could watch him run the rest of this rack without hitting anything, without running into anything. So he can take the 9, then the 11, then maybe this 13 ball here. That's gonna free the 7 ball for this corner. This ball is inside the triangle, so it looks like he doesn't have a good break ball now, and this is too low. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets a break shot here. I have no doubt he will, but at this moment, I don't know what he's going to do. Okay, Steve got out of position for the 2 balls, so he decided to play safe. And Tim is gonna get a second chance at the table, folks. He has to do some balls here. He's not going to be at the table 15 times, I can promise you that much. So he has to do a few balls here. Too bad. And now he's on a foul, so on top of getting back at the table, Steve has a get out of jail free card now. If he hooks himself, he can just touch the cue ball and give it back to Tim, and Tim is gonna be on 1 foul. Okay, in case you're confused about what Steve just did, he didn't think he could do any ball here. I mean, there's no shot. So he just take a fall, give it back to Tim, and it's not a problem because Tim is already on the fall. So Tim is gonna be the first one. He's gonna be the first to have to risk something, move something, or he's gonna get on 3 fall and get a 15 points penalty. I don't think he wants that. Okay, looks like Tim did a good safety. He's now on 0 foul. Steve is on 1 foul, so now Steve has to risk something. I don't think he has a shot. Steve called safe. and it looks good to me. I think the 7 could be done in the corner, but would be a very thin cut. 7 ball here could go in the corner. Very thin cut, and he can't be sure he's gonna have a shot after, and he could scratch. Looks like he's going for it. I said it. That was dangerous. And the irony here is that Steve still don't have a shot, and Tim is on 1 fall. So I think Steve is still going to do the up and down again, but this time he has to watch out for the 10 ball. He cannot just put the cue ball anywhere at the top of the table. He has to put it somewhere where the 10 ball cannot be pocketed. Wow, I didn't think of that. Just scratching and giving the problem to Tim. I kind of knew that, but I think I would not have think about doing that in that case here. I think that's the lesson here. When your opponent is on a fall, you can always give him the problem, always. So this time Steve was in the kitchen. He didn't like his option, so he just scratched again and give the problem to Tim. And now Tim has to risk something. Either he has to try to cut the 2 ball in the corner or some kind of safety. I think he's gonna go for the safety. No, he tried to do it and he's gonna scratch again. Wow. The balls are not rolling great for Tim right now. And he's gonna be on 2 fall next time he comes at the table. Let's see if Steve will remember that he's on 2. That his opponent is on 2. I think Steve is gonna do an intentional scratch again. He can try to cut the 2, but why take the risk, right? So here he did not really pocket the 2 ball. He pocketed on a safety. But the problem with that shot is that he gave the 10 ball to Tim. So Steve remembered that his opponent was on 2 and just informed him. There's not any chance that Tim is gonna fall here, but still, I mean. And with all those falls, Tim is back to 0. Tough day at work. And Tim called safe. And the 10 ball goes back. And we have a perfect line of 5 balls here. Wow. How interesting. So both players are on 0 foul now. So Steve's strategy kind of failed here because he's the first who has to try something. Yeah. Yeah. So now Tim is gonna do this 1 ball here, and then this ball goes in the side. Okay, so Tim was across the table to make this ball. He missed it. He got a pretty good roll. I don't think that Steve has anything. So Tim is still in the best shape here. Steve is gonna have to try something, some kind of safety, not to give anything to Tim. It's gonna be difficult. Could also try to carom. Could also try to carom this ball here, like this. That's another option, but he misses at least 50% of the time, I think. This is not an easy shot for anybody. I think Steve was playing safe here. I'm gonna give him credit for safety. I don't want to ask him because I don't want to talk to the players while they play. It's necessarily gonna mess with their flow. So I'm pretty certain he was doing safety here because it doesn't lead to anything. If he pockets this ball, he's frozen on the 3 ball. So I think he was playing safe. Another good safety by Tim, and this safety battle's been going on for over 10 minutes, continues. Alright, another good safety. Tim has to find something. Not easy this time. I really don't see anything. I mean, I don't see any way to do a good save here. I think the best he can do is send the cue ball maybe here, like this. Feather this one ball, send the one ball somewhere in the cluster, and hope that Steve is gonna miss this shot here. Cannot think of anything else. And that's what Tim did, and he was successful. I don't think Steve is gonna try this 12 ball. That's another safety by Steve. And he's successful, very successful this time. Now it's going to be very difficult for Tim. What can he do this time? That's quite a safety battle. I mean, it wasn't just a safety battle because I think Tim missed a shot at some point in the middle of this safety battle, but yeah. And he got a lucky roll, so the safety battle continued. But it's one of the longest safety battle I've witnessed while on the stream. I hope you guys enjoy. I think Tim has the 12 this time. Not only has the 12, but he can send the cue ball. I think he can send the cue ball like this, pocket the 12 here. Oh, much better. He has the combo. I didn't think the combo was possible, but the way he looks at it, it's going. Okay, we have a winner. Team is the winner of this safety battle. Got a little lucky in the middle, but he has a break ball, a key ball. Yeah, this ball was his key ball, but he has to take it now to avoid any risk of missing. Playing the 3 here would have been a thin cut and send the cue ball up like this. Tim doesn't look too happy with the result. I think he wanted to be much lower. Maybe he wanted to take the 3 as the break ball. Maybe you think this 15 ball is too low. I don't think the 15 is too low. I think the 15 is a break ball. He's just going to scrape by the bottom ball, but it's if he puts a lot of power, should be enough. I mean, this is a break ball. He doesn't have to try to get on the 3. Yeah. So we're going to another safety battle. Stats. All right, Steve Lipsky, 875 offensive play index, so very good performance so far. Tim already has 5 misses, that's a lot. Steve has 1. Safety success, interesting stat. Tim looks like he's 100% of the safeties. Steve was unsuccessful last one time. So that's a good save for Tim. Steve can make the 1 ball, but could be easily missed. Right? If you get a player to take a shot, especially a player that's has more skill than you, you get him to take a shot that he misses half the time. You were successful. So now Steve pushed this ball a little too far, so that's open for Tim to take. And Tim is going for it, of course. He's gonna try to hit the stack on his way back, and he was successful. And Tim is at the table with full control now. He has to put some balls in. Okay, that was a good shot. Not sure actually, it was not guaranteed to have something after, so maybe you should have played much harder. He's gonna have to run into something. Let's see what moment he chooses. Okay, 1 ball is next. No, if he takes the 3 now, he can come back like this and break. He doesn't have enough angle here. I think his best option is to do the three ball, try to have the cue ball roll something like this, and use one of those three balls to hit the cluster in the middle. So he didn't put enough spin. He's gonna have a tough shot. Not a tough shot, but he has to focus on pocketing the ball, right? You don't want your run to end. He has a fairly natural position though. If he pockets the five ball here, I think without too much effort he can have the cue ball roll back like this. Overshot it. I think I would take the 7 here. So he just pushed one of the last two balls that was available to him to run into the cluster. But he might have freed, I think he freed the 11 ball here. So he doesn't have, he's in less trouble now. If he finds a way to put the 4 ball somewhere, like remove it, maybe do it up the table, all the balls remaining are gonna have a pocket. So he's taking the 13. What's the next ball after? He wanted it to be the 7, but he ran into it. And now he has the 4 ball here. And he can send the cue ball in this here. So that being said, we're late in the rack and he has to start thinking about a break ball. The 14 can be used as a break ball, but a bad one. So you should try to create one right here, right now. Good job. 8 is the perfect break ball here. There you go. Fantastic. So he needs precise positioning to finish this rack though, because the 14 is somewhat behind the 9 ball, and the natural pocket for the 9 ball is not there, and the 7 is up the rail, right? So all problems are solved, but he's not out of the woods yet. And he's gonna hit his break ball, and he's gonna be disappointed. I think he's back to using the 14 as his break shot. But if you look carefully, it's a little high, right? It's only going to scrape. If he puts a lot of power, it's only going to scrape the top of the triangle. So he has to pick kind of mid-speed with a lot of forward spin. things could go wrong. So another option here would be to do the 14 in the corner. Try to keep the cue ball somewhere here and do a side pocket break shot. You know, the 9 goes here and you send the cue ball like this. I think this is what he's going to go for because 14 is too bad. No, he's taking the 9. So you'll see what I mean. I think, unfortunately, the 14 is a little high, but I could be wrong from the angle I am. But if he plays hard, he's only going to scrape the top. All right, Steve has a 25 balls run. Tim is in a 14. Yeah, shot count. Safety success 77% for Steve Lipsky, 100% for Tim. So far on the safety game, Tim has played very well. Uh, See, that's what he's looking at. He's trying to see what kind of break he can get. So I think he's gonna play mid speed with a lot of follow. That's what I would do. And he misses. Ouch. I think the 2 ball is going, and the 9 ball doesn't obstruct. Actually, it helps Steve the miss. Steve is gonna re-break right here, right now. Right, Steve back in control. Open table. Let's look at the master in action. If I remember right, Steve won the league the last 3 seasons. So he's playing mostly against players that are much lower skill level, but he does have to give a huge handicap. Like I think before Tim, Steve beat 2 other good amateur player, giving them 75 balls and 150. There's one other player in the league that's, well, actually 2 other players. Um, there's Sean Morgan, but he's the league director. He doesn't play in the playoff. And the other player is Tony Robles, who finished second in the World Championship last year. And last season, Tony beat him with even. They were both going to the same score. There was no handicap, and Steve beat him. So you cannot say he doesn't deserve it, right? Tony Robles has again made it far in the playoff. He already played his semi-final match, and he won. And he's waiting to discover who his opponent is going to be. It's either going to be Steve or Tim that we are watching right now. I think the match is going to be Monday night in 2 days. Either Steve Lipsky versus Tony Robles or Tim Edmonds versus Tony Robles. And Steve had a little moment of was not attentive for a little moment, and he missed this ball that looked easy. Another chance for Tim, who is behind 40-18, which means he's not that much behind. Because like I said at the beginning, he goes to 75 and Steve goes to 150. So as long as his score is half Steve's score, he's still in the game. You see 14-1 is not an easy game. See, okay, he's going to take the 3 ball here, but what is his next ball? How does he do like the 5 and the 1 without moving his break ball? Right? At this point, I guess this ball is his break ball. He has to move those 2 balls. I thought that was going to be his break ball, but he thought it was better to take it, try to create another one, and he kind of failed on this endeavor. Only this ball here can use as a break ball, and it's not terrible. It's not terrible because it's difficult to land on it. You know, there's only a small area here. You know that he's going to be comfortable. Yeah, at best that's gonna be a side pocket break shot. Brings the cue ball somewhere here. Send this ball here and break the stack like this. That's the only hope right now. If he doesn't achieve this, we go back to a safety battle next rack. I'm not sure what he was thinking here. Okay, let's look at the stats. What do we have? Steve, yeah. I think Tim has one too many miss. I think the first shot of the match, uh, I had the wrong intent on my scoreboard. However, this is a legitimate miss, and Steve is coming back at the table without too many hopes of getting a run started. It's a little difficult to send the cue ball back in the stack here. Do the 4 ball. Maybe he's gonna try it, but like doing the 4 ball and sending the cue ball back like this is it's a little much to ask him. I underestimated Steve one more time. He put a lot of side spin on the cue ball, generated a lot of power, and boom. Doesn't look like Steve has anything here. I think he's on the lip of the pocket. See, like it looks like you might think he has like it's an easy shot here, the 10 here, but the cue ball is on the lip of the pocket. So he got kind of unlucky here. When he's lucky, he didn't scratch, but he played such an amazing shot that if there were any justice in this world, he would have something to continue. But so this is interesting. Steve just took a foul, but his Tim is not on a foul, so it's unclear what this is achieving. I think he's just testing Tim to see what he's gonna do. If he's gonna do something stupid. Wow, we have some high-level strategy here. So Steve just put himself on 2. Tim is only on 1 right now. He sits on the scoreboard here. So somebody explained me that when a player does that, is he wants to put both players on 2 fall, so that there's more chance that the opponent is gonna miss. Yes, that's another one. Okay, Tim informed. Wow, Steve took a 3rd fall. This is pretty crazy. Intentional 3 fall. How about that, guys? There you go. I'm gonna put it in. 3rd fall for Steve. 3 fall re-rack.
23 to 23.
Yes, I kept a good score despite all the fall, and I just confirmed with Steve that my score was right. Pretty happy with this. Wow. Okay, this is going on for 1 hour now, and the score is even. So if you guys don't know the details of 14-1, you might be confused as to what just happened. So Steve was hooked on the lip of the pocket, and instead of he couldn't see any possible safety that would just give the control to Tim, because there were balls over the hanging in front of the pocket. So um, 23-23. Score 23-23. Yeah, yeah. So Steve, instead of doing something that would give control to Tim, he decided just to go with the 3-fall. And Tim did the right thing. He just gave back the first 2 times. There's no reason why he would try something risky. Steve, okay, 1 fall, 2 fall, and then Steve lose 15 points. And then we go to a safety battle. That's why it's a controversial move. It's a controversial move because you give 15 points away, and you have to do the opening break. I mean, we re-rack, and you have to do the opening break according to the rules of the opening break. So it goes to a safety battle where, all things being equal, you're gonna lose maybe 60-65% of the time. So we see it on the stat: 3-fall penalty. Steve 1. So intentional foul. Steve has 5, and he has 3 defensive falls. That was the 3 falls that he just took. So the difference between a give back and a defensive fall is a give back is when your opponent has this more fall than you. He has 1 more fall than you. And defensive is when he has the same number or less. So Steve is going to do an opening break now. And now the score is even, but Steve is actually way behind now because it's 23-23, and one thing to realize is that Tim Edmonds is still on 2-fall. I don't know if Steve told Tim that he was on 2. I think he just did. So if Tim scratches here, he loses 15 points also. And he's not going to scratch. He's going to make the ball, and he has a chance of getting solid control. Now the task is he has to do the 6-ball here and roll the cue ball somewhere here. Like, he really wants to be like somewhere around here. Ideally, he wants the cue ball to end up like here. That would be perfect. That is good enough, but it's a thin cut. I think he's making this shot 67.8% of the time exactly. That was one of those times he misses. Wow. Yeah, that's quite an opportunity that Tim missed here. Let's say he gets 14. Just run this rack now. Steve is far behind. Okay, quiz question. What's the problem here? Yes, the problem is that there's no break ball. Things are not getting better here. It's gonna have to either take a one rail break, which is always kind of weak, and it doesn't turn out well too often, or he has to fabricate some kind of side pocket break ball with one of those two. Things don't look good right now for Steve. Alright, folks, so if you've been watching Steve Lipsky before, I'm sure you noticed that he's off his game. Um, I've been stringing him a couple of times, and he always put big runs together, but today it looks like he's having a bad day. Now the question is, does Tim can seize this opportunity? I think his confidence is going to grow a little with Steve missing that, failing to figure out that track. He must be feeling a little more confident now. That's what his body language tells me anyway. Wow. All right. 10 managed only a few balls here. Steve is back at the table. That was a very good shot. Now he has a little chance of getting a break shot here. I think he's gonna draw and try to leave the cue ball pretty much where it is right now. But there's some angle, so it's gonna be difficult. I'm not sure it's possible to draw and have the 15 in the same pocket. My idea would be to draw here, for a break shot of the 13 in this pocket and send the cue ball on the stack like this. But he has some angle on this ball is going to play, so not sure it's possible actually. I never thought about doing that. So this is exactly what he wanted to do. Leave the cue ball, push this 13 ball a little into a break ball. Leave the cue ball inside the triangle. Now the cue ball is going to be go up the table in the kitchen, and he has a break shot. It's going to be a long break shot, but I think he's a favorite to do it. Quick look at the stats. 792 for Steve, 466 for Tim. That was their offensive play index, which measures how well they play offensively. It doesn't measure anything about the safety play, so yeah, that was definitely a possibility. The problem is that the more goal he gives himself, the more likely it is he's gonna miss. And then we go to a safety battle. Tim did very well so far in the safety battle. I think he won. He won two. He did get lucky one time, but the other two safety battles he won. He won fair and square. Nothing easy here. There's no obvious. I think his best option is to feather this ball here. Go to one run and hope he can stay somewhere here. I think I can do straight line instead of this. So he did exactly what I said, and he was successful. There you go. That's how I do shift click. That's how I do straight lines. Shift click. Note to self. Wow, very nice shot. So Steve doesn't have much option than just try to do the same thing. Feather a ball. Okay, looks like Steve thinks that 8 is going in this pocket here. I think he called it. He's going for it. And boom. Steve back in full control. Is he going to be able to get out of his slum and put some balls together? He needs to. I'm pretty sure Tim is also playing way below what he can do, so um, whoever finds his game back the first is probably going to win this match. Very nice. So you see he already has like 2 break ball, but he just created a third one here in case anything go wrong. He's gonna have to take one of them here, but it's no big deal. He has 2 more. And I think went a little bad here. He destroyed one of his 2 remaining break ball, and he might have to take his last one. No, the 11 looks like it's not available. Either it's not available or he wants to keep it as a break ball. Absolutely. So he's gonna do the 7 in the side. 7 in the side here. Nice shot. With the position. Great shot. Still in business. The 6 actually is still a break ball. Yeah. So he has the 11 here and the 6. He's in good shape. So he's hesitating now because he doesn't know what is the ball after the 5 ball he's gonna play. Looks like he's gonna have to run into something, and he wants to minimize the risk of something going wrong. Okay. That's pretty good. That was the last problem, if you'd call it a problem. I mean, those 2 balls had pockets, but it's much better like that now, and I expect Steve to get a perfect break shot. So, like I said, with all the balls open and two break balls, Steve got the perfect break shot fairly easily, and he got a skid. You saw what happened here. You might be confused as to why he's upset. He got a skid. He was almost straight on the ball, so he still made the ball. But you saw the object ball kind of jump in the air a little, so that was the skid. Too much friction at the contact point. The object ball jump in the air a little and it eat enough energy that the cue ball is not in the correct position right now, and he does not have a break shot. It's straight. Wow, he's pretty pissed off at me. Uh, Steve is not. I don't know what's happening. He kind of walk away from the table. It's the second or third skid he gets, so maybe he wants cleaner balls or something. He's at the desk complaining. So Steve is a fierce competitor. I mean, this is an amateur league, but he really wants to win, and he doesn't take this very well. I mean, he doesn't take it very well. He wants good condition. He did all the work, played a very good pattern, and he doesn't have a break shot. Let's put the stats. All right, Steve Lipsky 814. Still a pretty good offensive play index despite everything that happened. He lost controls a lot during the safety battle. He has 3 misses, but um, the other times that Tim got at the table was because Tim won safety battles, which does not affect your offensive play index. Like I said, Steve played offensively, didn't do too well. He has already 9 misses, which I really think it's 8. I think I made a mistake the first shot of the match. The initial break, my intent was set at make, should have been at safe. Yes, Steve is getting a new set of balls. All right. We have some drama here. Okay, so Steve wants to change the entire set of balls, so he just called safe on the last ball, pocketed it. So now the last ball is in and they can change the entire set.
I guess so.
So Tim is gonna come at the table now with a full rack. I was wrong. Steve pocketed the last ball legally. So I'm gonna fix that mistake, make +1 for Steve. Next rack. And now Steve plays safe. Now it's Tim's turn. Okay. I fixed my little mistake. Steve has the 1 in the corner. Yeah, that ball goes here. Brutal. What's brutal? What is brutal is that that was a perfect opportunity for Tim to take solid control, but he has missable shots everywhere. He has a few options, but it's nothing that he makes more than 90% of the time. Yes, barely, but it went in. So Tim has a little time to find a way to re-break. Not sure he's gonna go about it. The obvious re-break ball is the 3 ball here, right? If he can manage to bring the cue ball somewhere here, could like something like this and re-break. I think this is what he was trying to get at, but he missed. And now he might not have a shot. I done. Okay, I was wrong, the 3 was going. He has to find something pretty quick because the 9 is no good to re-break. I don't see anything with the 5. It's the 10 ball. How does he get on the 10 ball for a re-break? Maybe he spotted some kind of combo carom in the middle of the table. Maybe on the 2 here. Looks like maybe the 2. It's going here. I have to admit the semifinal is not what I had expected. I can promise you that both players are not at their best right now. It was the same thing in the other semifinal. I played against Tony Robles, and he kind of played below his usual level. But I also didn't play my best game. And even though I was only going to 75 and he was going to 150, he won easily. All right, two very nice break balls. The 11 here and the 2. Everything is open, and let's look at Steve end of rack pattern. Enjoy. What's the key ball? Is it the 11 here or the 9? The key ball is the last ball you play before the rack gets a re-rack. Okay, Steve chose the 9 ball, and I'm having a little bug right now. The graphics won't go away.
Yeah. Yep.
56-31, score is still good, but what's happening here? So while the players are fighting on the rack, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my setup. Those damn things won't go away now. Wow. Thing is gone. Jesus. Okay. So no more graphics. No more overlay graphics. Malfunction. Meanwhile, Steve got the break shot. He did the control break. If you notice, he didn't hit the stack hard. Probably because he wasn't too sure where the cue ball was going after. And he got rewarded by a nice spread. He's probably gonna have to move a few things, but he stayed in control. He didn't take any risk. Okay, the score is now 62-31, so the match is actually even now. If you take into account the handicap, it's a dead even match. Steve hasn't run into anything yet. Or maybe I was looking away when he did, but he's navigating pretty well in this compact cluster. It's not a cluster, it's just balls that are close to each other. And he's navigating pretty well so far. Let's see if he can finish this rack without moving anything. I don't think it's possible. Yeah, my graphics are gone. I was going to show you how I think he's going to spread the rest, but yeah. Would have been pretty preferable to have a little more speed on this. Still has a little bit of work, substantial amount of work. The 8 doesn't go in the corner, the 9 ball either. So probably gonna take the 4 now to open this pocket for the 8 and the 9. I want my graphics back now. Let me try to see if I can fix this. Okay, that was dangerous, but he has the 3 in the side pocket. I think he's still a favorite to finish this rack. Gonna be difficult to get a break shot though. He has to find something creative. Nice shot. Okay, so this is in, and this is in. If he doesn't move anything, the only potential break ball is the 8 ball here. And I fixed my graphics, as you can see. So is he doing a side break shot here? What is he doing? I'm not sure what he was trying, but it turned out bad because it's a tough combo. Even if he does the combo, even if he does this combo here, it's unlikely the 5 is gonna land well for a break shot, so I think his run is gonna end. Looks like he's thinking about cutting this here. Don't try this at home. Yes, he's going for it, guys. Now the cue ball is gonna fly everywhere. And anyway, the 12 is inside the triangle, so no matter what, he's not getting a break shot. Steve says he got under his skin. He's livid. That was a run of 25 for Steve, I think. Let's look at the stats. Steve, 25, 23, 13. I can promise you by this point, usually Steve has a 50 or 60 run, almost always. Okay, Steve tells me I have one too many for himself. I'm not the official score. The beads is the official score, so I'm gonna fix it. Steve hoped he could just scrape the corner ball. Didn't happen. Now he has to play some kind of safety. I'm waiting for a good moment to input the correction. I would take this as an intentional foul by Mr. Tim. Let's adjust the score for what Steve just told me. Steve is back to 69. And Steve, like, it was his option just to give back. That's what he did. Steve was the first to take a fall, so he's gonna have to be the first to risk something. Or take a 15 points penalty like Steve did earlier. I don't think he wants to do that. That was a legal shot, so Tim is back to 0 foul. Steve is on 1. That's the number here, by the way. The live foul count. And it was not only a legal shot, it was also a good save. Steve has a couple of options though. Okay, we got an interesting safety battle going on right now. Or maybe Tim thinks he has a shot here. Wow, he's aiming for it. They called it the one on the side. So, Tim is going to lose the safety battle. Steve is back at the table, but he has very little options to break the cluster. It's the 12 maybe. Can they hit the cue ball somewhere here? Like this. Looks pretty good actually. Can do the 10. Wow, he's taking it now. He's gonna try to re-break now. Watch him. And he was successful. The 9 is going here. Wow, nice shot by Steve. Any kind of break that you do through a rail is dangerous. It's hard to get a lot of power, and you're not too sure where the cue ball is going after it hits a rail. So, I think you should take the 9, leave the cue ball somewhere here, and take this 6 ball here in the side to re-break right away. He decided not to listen to me. I don't know. Oh, it's because the 14 is wired. I didn't see that. Ooh. I think he has to take the 15 in and break. Take the 15 here and break this. So he decided to take the 4 instead because he's gonna get a better angle on the cluster if he breaks from this side. He kinda has to create a break ball also here. It's very important that there's one ball to break with after the shot. The 7 is in. He doesn't have a break ball. Wow. I mean, the 7 is in the triangle. He won't be able to use it as a break ball. His only option right now is to bring the cue ball somewhere here and do a side break shot like this. But he doesn't have to break the cue ball. He can leave it inside the triangle. I never think about that. Even when I play, for some reason, I never consider this option. And the fact I didn't see it again here means if I was playing, I would not have seen it. I would not have considered the shot. $81-32. Steve has a lead. See, 32 times 2 is 64, so yep. Does he have something? Brutal. Totally brutal. There's nothing. Ouch. That's another defensive foul by Steve. It's like his fourth or fifth of the match. It's a questionable move if he does not intend to take another 15 points penalty, because Tim can just give back again. I think that's what he should do. He should just touch the cue ball and give back to Steve.
I think you're allowed to ask, and I don't think you're on one. We had a second battle with you ready to show. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it's worth talking about. Do you remember the way that I began shooting? Do you remember the way that I began to shoot? Yeah.
So it was an interesting situation. Steve couldn't remember if Tim was on a fall. My scoreboard said he's not. So I was going to say something. Wasn't sure if I should, because it's I'm not really part of the match. And finally Tim remembered that he missed on the side pocket and it was not a fall. So now both players are on one. Steve just took his second fall. I don't think he moved anything, so if there's any logic here, Tim should just touch it again. Yep, he will. Steve is taking another 15 fall penalty. Can you believe that, folks? Tim just informed Steve is on 2. And Steve is not going to take a third fall. He's going to try to draw back on the stack. The problem is that the 1 is going to be open. Okay, he's trying the bank. All right. Nope. $15 ball is dead. Boom. It's definitely the shot he should take here. Tim didn't plan this right. Maybe he was too focused on just making the ball. He extracted one ball. That's nice. The two balls in a good position to be used to break the cluster. Right? If he brings the cue ball somewhere here, boom, could break the cluster. You should try to get to this sooner than later. Steve just told me my score is wrong again, one too many. I would be very surprised this time. I don't think I did any mistakes since the last time I fixed it, but the beat is the official score, so I'm gonna fix it again. There you go, fixed. Wow, okay. I'm not sure this is what he's going for, but he got the perfect setup to break the last cluster. So try to hit the 14. The top of the 14, not the bottom. Oh no, this ball is going here. This is going. This. Tim kind of planted himself in the corner. He should have taken care of the 7 ball earlier. Now he has no way to finish this right. He's gonna have to take his most obvious break ball. Well, he has to find a way to get somewhere in this small region here. You know, maybe here would be nice also, would be good, but it's pretty small. You know? His other option is to accept the one rail break shot, but it's not ideal. That's not a break shot. It's too weak. Even if he gets to the stack, nothing will happen. Celtic took the ball, took the point. Now he's gonna play safe. Careful. And we're going to a safety battle. Whoops, maybe the 11 here. Going on the side. It's tough to say from here, but that it's possible. I'm not sure. He's aiming for it, yeah. Yep. I think he should try the combo here. He should take it. This combo here, boom, boom, and he would get, he would destroy the stack, the cluster. I think it's a risk worth taking here. There's very little rewards in doing the 13 ball here. Oh, Steve, you're not listening to me. Not sure what was Tim thinking here. If he thought he could do some damage to the stack or... Is the 3 ball going? I don't think it does. It doesn't look like it's aligned right. So Tim just played this last ball, kind of knowing it was not leading to anything. He should have played safe. He should have called safe and pocket the ball and give the problem to Steve. So instead of this, now he's in trouble. I think he called the 3. I don't think it's going. Very surprised. The throw is in the wrong direction. Oh my god. It did go. I don't understand how this happened because I mean it's the 3 ball was aligned to go somewhere here. And the way he played it, the throw was on the wrong side, but he managed to do it anyway, so So probably the 3 ball was aligned in the inside the pocket. I'm right under the camera, so I have about the same perspective as the camera, the frame that you're watching, except that I'm much lower. So. Good shot by Tim. He managed to cause some damage to this remaining cluster. He created a break ball. I think those last 3 balls in the middle, at least 1 or 2 of them can go in the corner. So looks like he's in good shape to get the break shot now. Okay, so he's gonna take the 9 here, send the cue ball somewhere here, and he's gonna reevaluate depending on where he lands there. Ah, graphic line designer jammed again. So we went past the 7 balls, so we decided to take that ball in the corner first. And he kind of lost the cue ball a little. And he has a reverse cut on the 7 ball to send it down the table. And that's a break shot. It's not ideal, it's far. He's almost straight, but that's a break shot. And Tim is only 19 away from the goal line with all this drama. He's only going to 75, so if he gets this break shot and manage to continue, he has a very good chance of winning at this point. Looks like Tim won't be able to continue here. It's too much to ask to cut this 3 ball in the corner. So we have a safety battle starting. And I want my graphics back. I don't like what's happening right now. There you go. Safety shot by Tim. Good. So our friend Steve Lipsky has to take control here. If he loses this safety battle and gives option to Tim, I don't see him winning. I mean, on a regular day, yes, but the way he's been playing today, if he loses this safety battle, I think that's going to be it. I called the 3 in the corner. Wow. I think that's gonna be it because if Tim runs the rest of this rack, he's gonna be 5 away from the finish line. It's not like Steve cannot run 70 balls. It's just the way he's been playing today. It's hard to see him coming back with a 70 balls run. 4 ball here is out of the triangle. So it's very possible that Steve is not coming back at the table at this point. Very nice. So you can push the 14 on the side, I think. I think it's better than the corner. I was wrong. I think you should have taken the corner instead. I was wrong about the angle again. Much more angle than I thought. Should have taken the ball in the corner and have a better angle on the 10, but nice shot. He's not going to get the break shot though, but he's so close to the finish line that he must feel that it's done. Needs 5 balls now.
What's the score? What's the score, Tim? 71-88.
So I don't know what's going on. Looks like I'm wrong again. Tim says he has 81. See, like Steve Lipsky is playing 788 offensive play index. I never saw him any of the match I streamed for him before. He was below 800, not even close. And it's 788 today. I'm just adjust the score again. So Tim only needs 4. He's going for the 4 ball. And he thought the carom was good. It wasn't. Steve is gonna get another chance at the table, but without much to go for. Steve elected to take a fall. Didn't see no point in making the 1 ball up the table. Steve is on 2. don't think it would make much sense to him to take a third foul. He only did that because he hopes that Tim is going to commit a third foul by accident, and he's going to get some relief with the score. It's very unlikely though. Is there something wired? One thing that Steve could do here is put the cue ball up the table in a very difficult spot, like here, and Tim would have to do some kind of safety where he could scratch. I think that would be his best option at this point, because I don't think anything is going. Yes, that's what he's going. I was right for once. He's taking a foul. That's a tough spot. So if Tim scratches here, he loses 15 points. You see he's on 2 foul here. Okay. Not only did Tim played it very safe. Take a shot where he has no chances to scratch. And he got the safety also. Steve is not giving anything away. I mean, he's run 72 balls before. Actually, how much he needs? Yeah, 72 balls before. So he still hopes to get back control and maybe not run 72 in one shot, but could run a 35. Little safety battle, take back control, another 35. Still very possible. Another intentional foul by Steve. That's going to put him on 2. We'll see if Tim remembers. It's very important in straight pool to remember the fouls of your opponent. Very important. Very nice safety shot by Tim. And Steve is on 2, but Tim did not remember, did not tell Steve. So had Steve committed a fault here, it would not be a minus 15.
All right, Tim is on one now. Still has no shot. Unless the 10 is wired now. It looks like it could be, right? Am I wrong again about this? Is it? No, I don't think so. Is it? I think it's going something like this, right? So it's not. So a reminder, Tim only needs 7 balls at this point, so any error by Steve and it's over. It could be over at least. Tim is looking for some combo. Some kind of combo somewhere. Doesn't see anything. He's gonna play safe. And this is a legal shot. Okay. Steve has the 6, the 4. He has a chance to take control here. I think he overshot it a little. He needed to be about here. He has a little angle, I think. Right? Yeah. So this is the line. He has a little angle. He has to generate a lot of power, a lot of spin. Okay, for some reason I ignore. Steve decided not to go with the 7, even though I thought he had some angle to go in the stack. And he took the 6 instead and tried to come back in the stack, but things turned out bad, and now he has no shot. He does have a good safety, but no shot. So we're going back to a safety battle now. I'll tell you something, Steve is fighting this tooth and nail. It looks hopeless at this point, but he's not giving away anything. He's gonna take another foul. Wow. Tim is not on a foul, so that's another defensive foul for Steve. How about that, folks? If it continues to go like that, Tim is gonna need more than a rack. Maybe that's what Steve is doing. He's trying to get Tim back far enough from the goal line that he can breathe, and maybe that's what's happening. Okay, we're going at it again. I think Steve is gonna take another foul, put everybody on 2, and then he's gonna decide whether he takes the 15 points or do something. Steve is on 2. Tim is gonna be on 2 pretty soon. No, Tim is tired of giving away points, so he's gonna do a normal safety. I think it's the right choice, because this is an easy safety. No, he's taking the foul. I think he realizes what's happening, but he's gonna take the foul anyway. Okay, so everybody's on 2. And Tim needs 9 balls now. Safety shot. It's gonna work out. And Tim has the 7. Get to the 7 here. If he can draw back somewhere here. And we break with the 8. Wow, Tim is gonna miss, and now Steve is really in control. If Steve was having a good day, I would think of him as still the favorite at this point. But he had such a rough session that so it didn't take too long for him to get into trouble again. And we're going at it again. Wow. So of course Tim could just take a fall here, but I think he's sick of giving away his points. He was 4 away not long ago, now he's 9 away from the goal line, from the goal finish, but he's going to do it anyway. Okay, he's taking the foul. And I fully expect Steve to do the same, because he wants to steal 1 more points from Tim. I'm not sure what he's doing. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to me. So he's taking another one. Because it worked great for him so far. I mean, he's yep. I don't know why these guys are taking 30 seconds for these shots. It's pretty clear that Tim is gonna take another foul. He's going to try to improve his position a little to make things a little more difficult for Steve. Good shot. Okay, this is the moment of truth for Steve. He has to play a safety without giving anything away. There's enough balls, exactly enough balls on the table for Tim to finish. Tim needs 11, there's 11 balls on the table. I should say there are 11 balls on the table. And Steve took a second, third fall. Can you believe this? A second time he takes the 15 points penalty. All right, the players are going to take a break. Let's look at the stats. Steve is down to play index 769. 13 misses for Tim, 6 for Steve. Tim played better than Steve on the safeties. 83% success versus 73 for Steve. Tim is playing at 33 seconds a shot, which is a little high. Anything 30 second, over 30 second, you deserve to be called a somewhat slow player. But it's an important match, so we're gonna forgive him. Steve has 18 intentional fouls and 13 defensives. And Tim has 10 give-backs. We're setting new precedents here, right? 18 fouls for Steve, 15 for Tim. Crazy stuff. 2-3 foul penalties. I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of battery at some point because the match is taking much longer than expected. 3 hours so far. My power bank is at 1, less below 25%, and my laptop is at 33%. Intentional foul for Steve Lipsky. And Steve is actually below Tim in points. Tim has 64, Steve has 59. Okay, the players are back.
What's the score? I have 59. Looks good. 64, yeah. Yeah, cool.
All right, my score is good this time. And again, Steve is going to play opening break. He must send 2 balls and the cue ball to rails, or it's an illegal break, and Tim has the choice of making him break again with a 2-point foul penalty, or he can accept the position.
You're having fun, huh? That's fun. You have 18 intentional fouls. Really? In this match. That's amazing. It's amazing. But I thought I would see something like that. So it's 18 plus the minus 30. No, you have 18 intentional foul plus 30 points, 30 points penalty. Right. So you have like 40. Actually gotten down almost 50 points. Yes. I love it. Love it.
I just had a quick discussion with Steve. He pointed to me that there's 18 intentional fouls, but there's also 30 points of penalty. So he would be close to the finish line if it wasn't for all this drama. Okay. That's a good break for Steve, unless something is wired. I don't think so. I think it's good. So Steve has a good chance of taking back control. So Tim is on 2 foul here. I'm not sure that Steve told him. I was distracted for a moment. Tim looking at the combo. It's certainly doable. I would say it's about 50-50 to make this. If he does make it, it could be it. He needs 11. It's 15 balls on the table. He is go- going for it. He called it. He called it. He's aiming for it. And I think Steve got unlucky again. Oh my god. Does the 12 goes? Yeah, the 12 goes. Okay, he's fine. Okay. Oh my god. What an horrible day for Steve. It's 9 balls on the table, so if Tim wants to finish in this inning, he's gonna have to get the break ball. He's gonna have to get a break shot and do 2 more balls after that. Okay, here's the break ball here. Don't touch this ball, Tim. It would be the natural ball to make here, but he doesn't like the 7 because he's going to run into the 2 and he's not too sure what's happening after. And something that could happen is exactly what just did happen. He's down the table. Okay, the 3 ball is not too difficult, but still, it's a missable shot. I tried to call you.
Figure it out.
And Tim is going to have to take his break ball here. No choice. I don't think it's worth going for the 6. I think you should abandon the idea of getting a break ball here. Just do the 3 balls. You're going to be 2 away from the goal line. Steve is 85 away from the goal line, so should be good enough. Actually, there is a slight possibility here. If he can get the do this ball, and the 2 ball, and leaves the cue ball here, he could have some kind of break shot. I mean, it's gonna be weak, but it doesn't need like to explode the stack, right? He needs 2 balls after this. Okay, he needed 5, now he needs 4. It can be a break shot. The 8 ball can be a break shot. Yeah, he's looking at it. Yeah, it's going. It's definitely a break shot. Okay, let's look at the stats. Steve 758, offensive play index. Tim 619. Can't believe that number. 18 intentional foul plus 30 points of penalties, 3 foul penalty. That's 48. Steve got 40, took 48 points from himself. Okay, let's see if Tim can finish it. Finish this. He needs 3. Not quite. One last safety battle. I shouldn't say that. We're going to a safety battle. If Steve finds this game back, he can still win. Tim called safe. I mean, there's the combo. It's definitely on here. He called it. And I'm afraid if he misses that, it's really going to be over this time because Tim only needs two. And no combo is easy. If you're a pool player, you know that no combo is easy. I think if Steve makes this 9 ball and gets a spread, I'm gonna have to go get the electrical extension. I'm running out of battery on everything. Oh, he gets it. Is the 13 on? I'm not sure. It's not. It is smiling in disgust. He's smiling in disgust. I don't know if he has the patience. I don't know if he has the patience to take another 2-fall and do play the same music again. And he's not giving up. He's gonna do the 2-fall again. Okay, again. Okay, both players on 2 fouls. What is Steve trying to do? Is he taking a 3rd foul or is he going to play safe here? Oh my God, what a shot by Steve to save the day and stay at the table. So this is on. The 5 up the table is on. Boom. was not on purpose.
Gee.
Okay, I think Steve is gonna have to take a combo sooner than later.
Unless the 14 can go like this directly. If not, he's gonna have to take this combo here.
Is it the 14 or the combo? 14, I think. Yep. He has to create a break ball now. That's it. It's do or die. And he did. He did. Yes, he did. That's a break ball. And Steve is gonna get the break shot. Let's look at the stats because it's pretty funny. So that's 20 intentional fouls. Yes, 2-3 foul penalty, another 30 points, so that's 50. Score 76-71. All right, I confirmed the score with Steve. And he's not giving up, folks. He's fighting tooth and nail, every ball, every shot. Tim is on 2 foul, but nobody remembers, of course. If you remember, Steve did exchange 2 fouls before he did the bank shot, the kick shot. Okay, Tim only needs 4 balls, but okay, can start with the 12. He has his 4 balls here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can start with the 12, something like this, come back, and then do those 3 balls. That should be it. Yep, but he thought the 12 was too much of a thin cut, so this is still not done. Tim only needs 2. I think the 8 ball is too much of it. No, he's going for the 8 ball. It's a thin cut here. And the cue ball is going to be sent flying. But that's the shot he decides to take. Personally, I would take the 3 ball. He's almost straight. He's straight on the 3 ball here. Okay, Steve is gonna give away the last ball. And my friend Tim Edmonds is gonna meet Tony Robles in the final Monday night at 7, I think. I hope you enjoyed this match. It was a very unusual match. Final score is 79 for Steve Lipsky, 75 for Tim Edmonds, but Tim wins because he was getting handicapped, 75 balls on 150. And yeah, Steve had a big counter performance, and Tim was able to play good enough to get the win. And I'm gonna put the stats, those amazing stats, one last time. Steve put 50 points of penalty on himself. You see intentional foul 20, and because he has this here, 2-3 foul penalty, that here, that's another 15 points apiece, so 30 points plus 20, 50 points penalty. I want to get Sean's comment on this. Look at this match, Sean. Steve has 20 intentional foul, and he took a 3 foul penalty twice. Wow. Tim won. Steve's I run is 25 for the match. On a regular day, that would be 60, 70.
has 17 total falls for himself. All right, folks. So Monday night, Tony Robles versus Tim Edmonds. I think again, Tim is going to get 75 balls on 150. He's going to be going to 75. Tony to 150. I think he's going to have to play better than he played today to beat Tony. If Tony is having just a regular day. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you're going to tune in Monday night. Pretty certain somebody's going to be streaming. Maybe I will. Maybe Mike Yetnak is going to do it. Somebody will do it because we always do it for the final. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.